Hi, I'm Brad Griffin. I'm one of the product managers for some of the exciting signal integrity, power integrity analysis products that we have at Cadence from the Multiphysics System Analysis Group. And when it comes to electromagnetic or EM simulators, we've got great tools out there to support signal integrity and power integrity. But what about electromagnetic interference or EMI? Noise that escapes from designs due to EMI are very harmful. Every design is going to have some level of EMI, but the government is going to test your designs to make sure that the emissions are below a certain level. If you fail a government test, that can be a little bit embarrassing, but more importantly, it can be expensive. You're going to have to scramble, come up with some way to try to fix that so that we can reduce the emissions. All the while, the time is ticking and your design's not on the production line and it's costing your company money. In order to ensure that you get your product to pass on the first time when the government testing takes place, a lot of companies have put a strategy in place to do pre-compliance testing. So they'll build a prototype, they'll gain access to some test equipment, a test environment, and they'll do that testing on their own and check the results. If the results don't pass the government testing standards, then you know early. So you don't have to face that embarrassment of the government telling you that you need to go back and do a redesign. You can get ahead of things by building a prototype and doing the pre-compliance test. But what if you could always be confident that you are going to pass the government EMI testing the first time? And what if you could do that without having to build any prototypes? What if you didn't have to rent a test facility? What if you didn't have to rent any test equipment? What if you could just simulate your design and get the same results that you would see if you had built a prototype and taken it to the test facility? If a problem shows up in simulation, you just edit your design and you resimulate. Eventually you get at the point where it's going to work, and then you get your design to production on time and on schedule. Legacy simulation tools have been trying to create this simulation nirvana for quite some time. But most EMI engineers know that they can only really use these tools to perform simple simulations on relatively simple structures just to give them some level of guidance. The tools simply lack the capacity and the speed to be able to meet the true system level EM simulation requirements. So this is why most companies still rely on building prototypes and going to a pre-compliance test environment to check out to see if the design is going to pass or fail. So what's changed? Today we have the Clarity 3D Transient Solver. You're probably familiar with the Clarity 3D Solver, a finite element solver that's used on smaller structures typically used in signal integrity and power integrity. The Clarity 3D Solver provides 10x capacity and performance over legacy 3D field solvers. But the Clarity 3D Transient Solver uses a different numerical technique called Finite Difference Time Domain, or FDTD. And this allows our customers to solve much larger problems. And it really enables a full system EM simulation. So EMI engineers can simulate the whole system or subsystems. And because the results come back in a timely manner, they can make trade-offs, they can perform what-if analysis, and they can get to the point where in the push of a button on a simulator, they get effectively the same information they would get if they had built a prototype and taken it in the lab and performed all those simulations in the test environment that would have been much more expensive than just simply running a single simulation. The Clarity 3D product line is a complete EMI solution. The Clarity 3D Solver, an FEM tool, is going to be able to address your near-field simulation requirements. The Clarity 3D Transient Solver, an FDTD tool, is going to be able to address your far-field simulation requirements. Together, the Clarity 3D product line, which is highly integrated with Cadence's award-winning tools for PCB design, package design, and IC design, this complete solution is going to accelerate your time to market and your time to EMI sign off. And ultimately, your company is going to make more money.